I'm going to walk you through 6 steps that if you follow them, virtually guarantees you win your next listing. And quite frankly, every listing appointment you go on from this point moving forward. Now, I've had clients that I've coached that have fought me on these 6 points. And then after they've done them, they got out of this fixed mindset, got into a mindset around growth, a mindset around being coachable. Once they did it, changed everything for them. And I'm hoping the same thing will happen to you. So number 1 is to hand deliver your pre-listing packet with a gratitude letter and a small gift. Now let's talk about this. Does it have to be you who hand delivers your pre-listing packet? No, it does not. It could be a runner that you pay per delivery. It could be an intern. It could be a neighbor. It could be someone at the office. It could be a brand new agent who's just starting off at the office. Just the same way you pay them to do a showing, you can pay them to deliver your pre-listing packets. And in your pre-listing packet, obviously, it has a copy of your resume. It's got a copy of your testimonials. It has a copy of your marketing plan and how you plan to market and sell the client's home, of course. It has your commitments to the seller, amongst other things, as a part of that pre-listing packet. In addition to the pre-listing packet, we're going to include a copy of what we call a gratitude letter. This is a simple letter that goes on top of the package that the seller gets to read prior to reviewing the pre-listing packet. The letter essentially outlines your mindset or your gratitude for the opportunity to earn their business. And then lastly, we give a small gift. Right now, we're dropping off, what we do is we drop off an apple pie, and it's from like a custom pie shop right here in town. And clients absolutely love them. And you're probably saying, wait a minute, Brandon, you're telling me to drop off a gift? This is not even a client of mine. This is just a listing appointment. I understand. But here's the thing. In order for you to be better than your competitors, you must first be different. Think about that. You all tell me, I want to stand out from the crowd. I want to be the obvious choice. In order to be better, you must first be different. And so this is going to help you to do just that. Stand out from the crowd, be the obvious choice, play to the law of reciprocity. I promise you, your competitors aren't doing step number 1. And I promise you that if you do, people will stop canceling appointments on you and they will give you the opportunity to earn their business, and you will be memorable. Of all the agents that might be competing for that listing, they will remember you. Point number 2 is to set a strong agenda. Now, I've had people over the years tell me over and over and over again, Brandon, my biggest problem at the listing appointment is closing for the sale. I feel like I do a great job, and then I get to the end of the appointment and they always say the same thing. I've got to think it over, or, hey, listen, this was a great meeting. We'll get back to you. We just kind of had to think some things through, and we'll let you know. And so here's the truth. Here's the reality. If you have a problem closing the sale, it's most likely that you have a problem with opening the sale. When we set a strong agenda, what we are doing is essentially outlining how this meeting will go with you and the potential seller. It's a foreshadow so that the seller's anxiety can lower, so that your anxiety can lower. We outline exactly what's going to happen in this meeting, and here's the key piece. Before the presentation even starts, we're going to gain agreement from the potential seller that at the end of this meeting, regardless of how it goes, we are going to decide together if it makes sense to work together or not. And that is a key thing. And we're going to invite the prospect to tell us the truth, which means we're going to make it safe for the prospect to tell us no. Because here's the truth and here's the reality. When you don't allow prospects to tell you the truth, you force them to tell you what they think you want to hear. You force them to politely say no in disguise, which often shows up as, hey, listen, we got to think it through and then we'll get back to you. And in most cases, that's just them telling you no, but they're them just being polite. So what we're going to do up front is we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to give them permission. In fact, we're going to invite them to tell us if they feel like it's not a good fit. And at the same time, we're going to gain the seller's permission to tell them the truth. And now we have equal business stature. Point number 3, gaining agreement around your pricing strategy. Now, so far, we've hand-delivered our pre-listing packet. They've read the letter. They've got a small gift or item of reciprocity. You set a strong agenda where you and the seller are in full agreement of exactly how this meeting is going to go, exactly what we're going to cover in this meeting, exactly what's going to happen at the end of this meeting. And the seller's fully on boat or fully on the same page. So we've got check mark 1, check mark 2. The third check mark, in order for you to win this listing, is to gain agreement around your pricing strategy. Now, I know what you're saying, Brandon, I don't have a pricing strategy. Well, we've got to focus on that. We have to create, and this is what I work on with all of the agents that I coach, is a specific strategy that does 2 things. That number 1, allows you to position your seller's home in the marketplace as the obvious choice. That's number 1. And number 2, the pricing strategy allows you to then set yourself yet again apart from your competitors, because once you deliver the pricing strategy in which I teach, the sellers have never seen it before. The sellers have never heard something like this before. And it's just another thing that allows you to set yourself apart from your competitors. And so if you guys want me to make another video on that pricing strategy, just let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to do that. Point number 4 is gaining agreement around your value proposition. In other words, what are the specific, tangible reasons on why the seller should hire you? What are those reasons? In other words, what type of offer of value, listen closely, what type of offer of value are you presenting to the seller that does 2 things? Increases their certainty that you are in fact the right agent, and at the very same time is decreasing their risk in hiring you. This is what your value proposition must do. We call it the value ladder. We're going to increase the certainty and decrease the risk at the very same time. And once you do that, you can get another check mark on point number 4, which is your value proposition. Point number 5 is gaining agreement around your net sheet presentation. I cannot tell you how many times an agent will tell me, or I'll ask a group of agents, I'll be talking to a small group of agents, and I'll say, listen, let me just ask you guys, how many of you don't present a net sheet at the listing appointment? And it's amazing to me that so many hands fly into the sky. And I say, well, wait a minute. I mean, isn't that what we're there to discuss? What the numbers look like to sell a property? How is that any different than talking to a mortgage banker who doesn't tell you what your monthly payment's going to be, doesn't review the interest rate, doesn't review your cash to close? It's like, well, what are we doing on this phone call then, if not that? This is the same thing. So point number 5 is to then present the cost of selling based on one of 3 sales prices, which was what we teach our coaching clients. We've got a low price, a price that is most likely, and a high price. And we break down the numbers to the seller so that the seller can get a good idea of what the numbers look like. And then once we gain agreement around those numbers, which is point 5, we're almost home. We can get right into point number 6, which is your listing plan of action. This is literally, you guys, when you're walking the seller through dates and times for the property to be clean, the property to be photographed, the property, the lockbox to get installed on the property, the sign to be installed. We're going to review showing instructions. We're going to discuss showing feedback, and we're filling out dates, tentative dates on our plan of action on the listing presentation. And so if you've gotten through all 6 of those points, there's no way that you cannot win the listing. In fact, to see this in action, I made a video right here where you could see the entire listing presentation delivered live step by step.